You vs. You. Loser vs. winner audiobook. Listen up, I'm going to be talking to both the loser in you and the winner. Only one of you can stay, the other is going to be eliminated, and you will kill the old you to continue your new life and journey as a winner. You know you can be both and you're tired of being the loser, which is why you're here. You know you have to beat the shit out of the loser and get rid of that version forever. This is your wake-up call. This is about you versus you. The only real fight you will ever have. There are two versions of you living in the same body. One of them wins. One of them ruins everything. And here's the part most people don't want to hear. Both of them are you. Same hands, same brain, same hours in the day. Different standards. I'm not talking like a professor. I'm not talking like a therapist. I'm not talking like someone who read about life in a book. I'm talking like someone who's been broke, hungry, disrespected, ignored, and then got rich by understanding one thing most people never do: human nature, including your own. The loser version of you is not some mystery. He's not misunderstood. He's not unlucky. He's predictable. He wakes up late. He negotiates with his mood. He waits until he feels like it. He wants results without pressure. He wants respect without discipline. He wants the reward without paying the price today. That version of you already had control. And what did he do with it? He stalled. He drifted. He got comfortable. He talked more than he moved. He thought about doing things instead of doing them. That's why your life looks the way it does right now. Not because you're incapable. Not because you're stupid. Not because the world is unfair. Because the wrong version of you was in charge. Now let's talk about the winner. Before you continue with this audiobook, you'll need to hit the subscribe button now and the like button, then this audiobook will continue. Hit the subscribe button now so you can learn how to get rid of the loser in you and become the winner. The winner version of you doesn't need motivation. He doesn't need encouragement. He doesn't need perfect conditions. He moves when it's uncomfortable. He executes when it's unclear. He works when it sucks. He applies pressure when everyone else backs off. The winner version of you already exists. You felt him before. That version of you wakes up early without complaining. That version of you locks in and blocks out the noise. That version of you doesn't ask, how long will this take? He asks, what's next? That version of you doesn't care about feelings. He cares about results. The problem is simple. You let the loser take the wheel again, and once you let him drive, he doesn't crash right away. That's how he survives. He eases off the gas slowly. He convinces you to skip one day, then two, then a week. He whispers things that sound reasonable. You deserve a break. You've already proven yourself. Just rest today. You'll get back on track tomorrow. That voice is not your friend. That voice is the enemy inside you. And I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how much potential you have. If that version of you stays alive and in control, you will lose every time. So here's the truth, and it's not pretty. The old you needs to die. Not physically, not metaphorically in some cute Instagram quote way. Functionally, operationally, completely, you squeeze everything useful out of him first. You take the lessons, you take the scars, you take the awareness of what happens when discipline slips, and then you shut him the fuck down. Because once the lesson is learned, the version that caused the damage becomes a liability. And in the real world, liabilities don't get emotional support. They get removed. The biggest mistake people make is trying to fix the old version of themselves. They try to heal him. They try to motivate him. They try to reason with him. That's weak thinking. You don't rehab a system that already failed under pressure. You replace it. You don't negotiate with weakness. You overpower it. This is where the fight starts. Every single day, the loser version of you is going to show up and test you. He's going to test you in the morning when the alarm goes off. He's going to test you when the work gets boring. He's going to test you when nobody is watching. He's going to test you when results are slow. That's the battlefield. Not in some dramatic moment, not in front of an audience. In the boring, quiet, unsexy decisions. And this is where winners are separated from everyone else. Winners don't argue with the loser voice. They act over it. The moment the loser says later, the winner says now. The moment the loser says rest, the winner applies pressure. The moment the loser says think, the winner moves. Action is how you suffocate the loser. Not affirmations, not journaling, not talking about your feelings. Relentless execution. You want to know how rich people think? They don't think in emotions. They think in leverage and control. Control over time. Control over habits. Control over attention. Control over energy. The loser version of you leaks all four. He scrolls. He wastes time. He lets his emotions dictate his day. He reacts instead of dictates. The winner version of you is ruthless with structure. He wakes up at the same time. He trains whether he wants to or not. He works in blocks. He finishes what he starts. He doesn't chase motivation. He uses discipline like a weapon. This is not about becoming someone new. This is about stripping power from the version of you that keeps costing you everything. Every time you hesitate, ask yourself one question. Which version of me is making this decision? Because the winner and the loser never want the same thing. The loser wants comfort now. The winner wants dominance later. The loser wants relief. The winner wants control. The loser wants to feel good. The winner wants to win. You don't balance these two. You choose. And once you choose, you enforce it daily. That's why this isn't motivation. Motivation fades. This is identity enforcement. You don't let the loser speak. You don't let him vote. You don't let him negotiate. You drown him in action. You wake up early even when you hate it. You do the hardest task first. You train your body so your mind remembers who's in charge. You stack days with proof. Eventually, the loser shuts up, not because he's gone forever, but because he knows he no longer runs anything. Only the winner remains in control. And once the winner is in control long enough, your entire life changes. Your confidence changes, your posture changes, your decision-making sharpens. People feel it when you walk in the room, not because you talk about it, because you've earned it. Do not slow down now. Listen carefully. This is where most people fall apart. Not when things are hard, not when they're broke, not when life punches them in the mouth. They fall apart when things start going right. That's when the loser version of you gets clever. When you're down bad, the loser hides. When you're tired, hungry, desperate, the winner naturally steps up. But when momentum starts building, when money starts coming in, when confidence returns, that's when the loser tries to sneak back in wearing a suit. He doesn't say, "Let's fail." He says, "Relax, you made it." That's how people lose everything. The loser version of you is not loud. He's subtle, he's patient. He waits for comfort to return, then he strikes. He tells you, you don't need to be so intense anymore. You've earned a break. You're different now. You won already. That's bullshit. You never won. You're either winning today or you're losing today. There's no permanent victory. There's no finish line. There's only maintenance of dominance. This is where rich people separate themselves from everyone else. Poor and average people think success is an event. Winners know success is a system, and systems collapse the moment discipline becomes optional. Let me explain something most people never understand. The loser version of you is strongest after a win, because wins lower your guard. They make you sloppy. They make you sentimental. They make you nostalgic. You start remembering the old days. You start thinking about balance. You start craving comfort, and comfort is the gateway drug back to weakness. That's why you need rules, not goals, not dreams. Rules. Rules don't care how you feel. Rules don't negotiate. Rules keep the winner in control even when your emotions get stupid. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Your emotions are not designed to make you successful. They're designed to keep you safe and comfortable. And safety does not create dominance. Pressure does. The winner version of you understands this. He doesn't trust his feelings. He doesn't listen to his moods. He doesn't care if he's inspired. He follows protocol. Wake up time, locked. Training, mandatory. Work blocks, non-negotiable. Distractions, eliminated. This is how you starve the loser. Because the loser feeds on chaos. He thrives when your schedule is loose. He thrives when your standards are flexible. He thrives when your rules have exceptions. Every exception is an opening. Every opening is a takeover attempt. And don't get this twisted. The loser is not evil. He's lazy survival instinct. He wants comfort. He wants certainty. He wants immediate reward. That's fine if you want an average life. But if you want dominance, he has to be kept under control permanently. This is why discipline has to be boring. People think discipline is supposed to feel powerful. It's not. Discipline is repetitive, unsexy, monotonous. That's why it works. Because the loser hates boredom. He wants novelty. He wants stimulation. He wants dopamine. So you give him none. You train when it's boring. You work when it's boring. You repeat when it's boring. And slowly, he starves. Now let's talk about something most people never prepare for. Identity backlash. When you start winning consistently, people around you will feel it. Some will respect it. Some will envy it. Some will try to pull you back to who you used to be. They'll say, "You've changed. You're too serious now. You don't have fun anymore." What they really mean is, you make us uncomfortable because you remind us of what we're not doing. The loser inside you loves that, because now he has allies, external voices that sound reasonable. That's why winners learn to operate alone. Not lonely, unbothered. You don't explain your discipline. You don't defend your standards. You don't seek permission. You just execute. Silence is a weapon. The more you talk, the more you leak power. The winner understands that. Now here's something you need burned into your brain. The loser never fully dies. He gets quiet. He gets weak. But he never disappears. That's why this is not a one-time decision. This is a daily enforcement. Every morning you wake up, control resets. And whoever moves first takes the lead. If the loser hits snooze, he's winning. If the winner gets up, he's winning. If the loser scrolls, he's winning. If the winner executes, he's winning. There is no neutral. That's why discipline starts before motivation. Motivation is a luxury. Discipline is survival. Let me say this clearly. If you need motivation, you already lost that moment. Winners don't wait to feel like it. They act because action is the identity. You don't become disciplined. You act disciplined until it's the only version left. This is how real confidence is built. Not through hype, Not through words, not through affirmations, through kept promises to yourself. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when it sucks, the winner gets stronger. Every time you don't, the loser gets fed. It's that simple. And simplicity scares people because it removes excuses. Now let's talk about pressure. Pressure is not the enemy. Pressure is the filter. Pressure reveals who you really are. When pressure hits, the loser looks for escape. The winner looks for leverage. The loser asks, how do I get out of this? The winner asks, how do I use this? That's why you need physical pressure in your life. Training, cold, fatigue, discomfort. Your body is the training ground for your mind. If your body never experiences pressure, your mind becomes soft. Soft minds create soft decisions. Soft decisions destroy lives. The winner trains his body so his mind remembers who's in charge. That's why hard days are good days. Hard days sharpen you, easy days dull you, and if you let too many easy days stack up, the loser comes back strong. This is the war. Not dramatic, not cinematic, daily, boring, relentless. And here's the final truth of this section. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your standards. If your standards allow excuses, the loser survives. If your standards allow comfort, the loser thrives. If your standards are ruthless, the loser starves. This is how the winner maintains control, not by feeling powerful, by acting powerful when he doesn't feel like it. Listen, this is where it gets permanent. Up to now, you've heard the truth. You've felt the pressure. You've recognized the two versions of yourself. Now we lock in who stays in control. Because here's the reality nobody tells you. The most dangerous moment in a man's life is when he proves he can win. That's when complacency creeps in. That's when mercy shows up disguised as wisdom. That's when the loser starts whispering again. And mercy toward your old self is betrayal, not betrayal of others. Betrayal of the winner you fought to build. The winner version of you is not emotional. He's not sentimental. He doesn't romanticize the past. He remembers the cost. He remembers the nights you couldn't sleep, the moments you were doubted, the times you were counted out, the hunger, the anger, the pressure. Those weren't accidents. They were fuel. And the moment you forget the fuel, you lose the fire. So here's the rule that keeps winners winning. No mercy for the old operating system. You don't punish it. You don't hate it. You just never let it run anything again. You extract the data. Then you shut it down. Every day. Let's talk about burnout, because weak people use that word as an excuse. Burnout doesn't come from working hard. Burnout comes from working without structure, from emotional decision-making, from inconsistency, from chaos. Winners don't burn out because winners run systems. They sleep at the same time, they wake at the same time, they train at the same time, they work in blocks, they rest on schedule. Rest is not weakness. Unplanned rest is weakness. The loser wants random relief. The winner schedules recovery like a professional. That's how you stay dangerous long-term. Dangerous doesn't mean loud. Dangerous means reliable. Dangerous means disciplined. Dangerous means when pressure hits, you don't fold, you respond. Now let me say something that separates real winners from performers. You don't need hype. Hype is for people who don't trust themselves. You need protocol. Protocol removes emotion. Protocol removes debate. Protocol removes excuses. When you wake up, you already know what happens. When resistance shows up, you already know what to do. When doubt creeps in, you already have movement cued. Movement kills doubt. Stillness feeds it. That's why losers overthink. They stop moving and start talking to themselves. Winners don't give their mind that chance. They move first. Now here is the daily war protocol. Not optional, not flexible. You want the winner to stay in control? This is the cost. You wake up early, earlier than comfort, earlier than excuses. You move your body hard, every day, no exceptions. You do the hardest task first, not the easiest, not the most fun. The thing you're avoiding is the thing that gives you power. You limit noise. No endless scrolling. No pointless conversations. No leaking attention. Attention is currency. Losers spend it everywhere. Winners invest it where it compounds. You end every day with proof, not plans, not intentions. Proof. If you can't point to what you executed today, the loser won that round. And yes, this is a war. Not against people, not against society, against entropy, against decay, against comfort, trying to turn you soft. Here's another truth rich men understand. No one is coming to save you. Not motivation, not opportunity, not luck. The world does not care how you feel. It responds to results. Results come from pressure. Pressure comes from discipline. Discipline comes from standards. Standards are non-negotiable. The moment you negotiate, you slip. That's why winners are ruthless with themselves. Not cruel, precise. They know weakness spreads if left unchecked. One skipped day becomes two. Two becomes a pattern. Patterns become identity. That's how the loser tries to resurrect himself. By inches. So you stay sharp. You don't celebrate too long. You don't relax into comfort. You don't let success turn you sentimental. You respect success by maintaining the behavior that created it. Now listen carefully because this is the final law. You don't win once. You win daily. Winning is not a destination. It's a posture, a way of moving through the world. The winner version of you does not ask, "Do I feel like it?" He asks, "What's required?" And then he does it. No drama, no story, no excuses. That's why winners look calm. They're not calm because life is easy. They're calm because they're prepared. Prepared beats motivated every time. So let's finish this clean. The loser version of you is not allowed back. Not when you're tired, not when you're stressed, not when things get good, especially not when things get good. You don't hate him, you don't fight him emotionally. You simply outwork him until he has no oxygen. And eventually, there's silence. No debate, no resistance, just execution. That's when you know the winner is fully in control. That's when people start feeling it when you walk in a room. That's when respect shows up without you asking. That's when momentum compounds. Not because you talk about being a winner, but because you operate like one. Every day. This is not motivation. This is not inspiration. This is identity enforcement. You versus you. Loser versus winner. Only one stays in control. And if you're listening to this, you already know which one you're choosing. Now get to work.